They could have, like the old cup with a string. They could have that plastered to their mouth and the other side plastered to your ear, going, you suck, you suck, you suck. But as long as consciousness is right, eventually they'll go, my bad, I actually want to be with you. No contact is not the devil's playground that many people think it is. In fact, depending on how you look at it, no contact is actually a blessing in disguise, and many manifestations come a lot easier when in no contact. And that's what I'll be doing today. I'll be sharing with you my perspective on no contact, why I actively search for it when it comes to a manifestation, and how you can navigate your no contact, as well as your hot and cold contact as well, to help you manifest your specific person better. So if that's what you need right now, if you are in the no man's land of messy or no contact, be sure to stick out this video. Be sure to drop it a like and a comment so it gets pushed out to other people who may need it. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already and click that bell icon. And of course, if you want to skip the general guesswork of the manifestation content here on YouTube, I can help you one-on-one. Everything is on my website, which is linked down below in the comment section and the description. I'd love to work with you, but without further ado, let's dive into this video. So, no contact. As many of you will know, when I manifested Katie back, we were in no contact from the second I left the house to when I called her back after missing her phone call. And that no contact was basically dead to the world. If you didn't know us, you would never have assumed that we were even friends in the first place. I didn't check her Snapchat. I didn't check her Snapchat score. Didn't see if she was posting stuff on Instagram. Didn't message her friends. Didn't anything. Literally only spoke to my own friend to say, hey, look, this has happened, which is why I might be a bit down, but I don't want to talk about it. Outside of that, nada. Absolutely nothing. And why did I do that though? Why do I like that? Well, when you are in no contact, things are consistent. It's only ever your mind against your mind in that instance. Whereas when you're in contact that is undesired, of course, if you're one of those lucky ducks that has amazing contact and you're just tweaking a few things, that's great. This video probably isn't for you, but stick it out, help my watch time. But if you're kind of in that multitude of different areas of bad contact, hot and cold, waiting ages to hear from them, sometimes not hearing from them at all and things like that, and you're like expecting to hear from them and you're like sending more text to get their attention, you've got things in the 3D that you could react to. You've got, as far as you could say, evidence, because of course consciousness is the true reality, not physical reality, but you've got evidence that things aren't going well. Of course, no matter what it is, you can change it as long as you do the conscious work. But these are just little extra steps to overcome. So for me personally, whenever I'm manifesting anything, not just people, I like to try and distance my physical self to them as much as possible. Because that way it's only ever my consciousness against my consciousness. And I know that I'll win. And that has happened on multitude of occasions. Manifesting Katie back. Manifesting other SPs from just hearing their thoughts that when we were last in contact, they didn't want anything to do with me, and so on. Because there's no negatives for me to deal with in the 3D reality. So anytime a negative come to mind, if it ever did, I didn't have physical evidence in front of me to say that they don't want to talk to me or anything like that. Because I wasn't dealing with them directly, not answering my messages, and so on. Which made it so much easier for me personally to just manifest. Because it's just all in my mind at that point. And if it's all in my mind and I'm in control of my mind, I controlled my mind. You know, I just did the affirmations. I just did the visualizations. I just did what you're supposed to do. Lo and behold, Katie back, other SPs back, and so on. So honestly, if you are in no contact right now, or even if you're in contact but thinking about maybe creating that separation if things aren't working for you, that's a good thing. Because you can use that time, that extra time when you're not checking to see if they've messaged or trying to think of the right things to say and so on, to affirm that you have them. to do the self-concept work, to do an extra meditation so that you're more regulated, to work on other topics and so on. It quite literally gives you the time and space to be a better manifester, to have them coming in full effect. So if you're in no contact now, or if you're thinking about creating some kind of no contact, don't think that it's going to ruin your manifestation. If anything, based on my own personal experiences and many people that I've worked with that followed this kind of general rule of thumb, the no contact makes things work better because it gives you the space to manifest without having to constantly put out fires from the 3D. It actually gives you the chance to build something new, something big, without constantly having what you were building being broken down by quote unquote evidence from the 3D that things are going wrong. So this is a state of power. This is a place for you to be the best you, to create the best that you can create without opposition pushing against you. So from now on, look at no contact or make the decision to go no contact based on the fact that it's for you. It's actually going to make it easier for you to manifest. It's going to make your journey more enjoyable because you're not being met with so many hiccups. And it's going to give you the chance to work on you, to work on other things, to regulate, to build things up, which are all huge wins as far as consciousness goes. So no contact really is a state of power. But what if you are in contact, but you're not quite ready to cut it and it's not good? Well, just because I've spent the last 5 minutes or so explaining that no contact is so powerful, doesn't mean you cannot manifest while in contact. And it doesn't mean you have to cut contact just to manifest them. You can manifest with them staring you in the face, saying, I don't want to hear from you, I don't want to hear from you, I don't want to hear from you, as long as consciousness is in the right place. They could have, like the old cup with a string. They could have that plastered to their mouth and the other side plastered to your ear, going, you suck, you suck, you suck. But as long as consciousness is right, eventually they'll go, my bad, I actually want to be with you. So don't think that you have to cut the contact if you really don't want to. But what you do need to do is follow the principle of dominant state of consciousness. As long as your state of consciousness is more dominantly aligned to them being yours, to being how you want to be, to having the communication that they're initiating, to having them chasing you, to having them worship the ground that you are walking on, even if the last thing that you heard from them yesterday morning was piss off, they'll come around tomorrow morning with a sorry baby, I miss you, or something equally as cringy. So please, going forward, if you're not willing to cut contact, which I'm not saying you have to, but if you're not willing to, be sure to keep yourself calm and regulated. Follow the same principles that I've described in this video. If something negative has happened, take some deep breaths, calm the body and mind down, and then choose your new story. Have your routine times, do your manifestation work in the morning and night, and then get on with your life during the day. But ensure that when they come to mind, you are reaffirming or revisualizing or whatever method you like to do, that you have what you want. Because that way, if we use that balance and scale analogy that I've mentioned so many times on this channel, the more good work that you're doing, the more weight you're adding to that story. And the less that you're letting the negative take over by regulating, the more you're just tipping the scale in your favor. So while I think that no contact is a power position, it's not an absolute necessity if you're not ready. But you absolutely must, while in that iffy contact, be sure to keep yourself calm and regulated, to focus on the end and to detach from what quote unquote is in this 3D. And if you can do that, no matter whether they've got that cup to your ear saying you suck, you suck, you suck, you will still manifest them. I can promise you that. And the reason I know that is because even though I manifested Katie during our no contact, we had arguments and such, and I manifested resolution in those despite the active tension being right in front of me. Despite us arguing and so on like that over text as well. I manifested those resolutions despite it being physically in front of me that things weren't great. So you can still manifest in that position, that I can assure you, but you must stay consistent, stay persistent, and be your best friend during this whole process. Don't give up on yourself. Don't let yourself down. You can do this. I'm just an average Joe, and if I can do it, you absolutely can too. But I really hope this video has helped. I hope that it's given you a new perspective, one that you're more excited for, or at least confidence and reassurance that what you're doing can still work if you follow these principles. Be sure to drop me a like and a comment if you've enjoyed this video. It just pushes it out on the algorithm and it helps more people. It's all the formalities, I suppose, to help the YouTube algo. But yeah, do all of that good stuff. Share it with someone that might need it directly if you've got anyone. Sign up for coaching or my memberships or anything like that if you want that extra tailored help to your situation. And I'd love to work with you. But for now, thank you very much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.